As part of Missouri Southern's international mission, each fall, a particular country or region of the world is selected to become the focus of intensive study in a themed semester. The 2021 fall semester has been dedicated to the study of Japan, so it seemed fitting that we highlight the opening of a new anime store in Joplin to coincide with the Japan semester. Joining us today on Newsmakers is Jeremiah Johnson, the owner of Anime Joplin. Thanks for joining us, Jeremiah.
Absolutely, it's a pleasure.
So tell us, what is anime?
Anime nowadays has many definitions, but I feel like the easiest way to explain it is just Japanese animation. And it's usually consumed through like the videos and Netflix and all the streaming and all the visual forms. But anime can encompass a lot of different things.
And what got you interested in anime?
I'm that age where growing up, sitting down, watching anime early in the mornings was part of growing up. So it kind of defined me in a lot of ways. There's one anime, One Piece. I'm a One Piece fan. It's lasted 20 years. So that's most of my life. Wow. So anime, in a way, defined a lot of my childhood and adulthood.
And you still love it today,
oh,
obviously.
Obviously.
And so what made you decide to open Anime Joplin?
To give something to this community that I've always wanted. I've always wanted a place, not just for retail, because you can always go to Amazon and find what you're looking for there. But now, I've always wanted somewhere you could go and experience anime. So really, the whole idea was to give not just me, but the community a place to go to and experience anime.
And so you said that your store you'll sell figurines, but what else will your store encompass?
I'm hoping to, with not just the figurines, bring in the collectible sides, your hard-to-get merchandise, the stuff, the anime that are out there that nobody talks about, your banana fishes. Like, if I was to say that, it doesn't even sound like an anime,
right.
But they are out there. And have a place to go and purchase those kind of anime. But I also want to give a side of the retail of a place to lounge. I have an entire lounge area where hopefully we can get some more Asian snacks and drinks and a place to come and bring your friends and hang out and really just experience more than just collect your favorite figurines, which is another focus.
Yeah. And so you said that you'll have a place for board games. And we call it nerd games, but I mean, in a positive way. What does that encompass? When
I brought up board games, I mean anything that you're willing to play. I will host D&D, usually Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights in that location.
And for people who don't know what D&D is, that's Dungeons and Dragons. Right.
Which that has escalated too in the last few years. But I have a space that will encompass board games, card games, the TCG, which is trading card games, and whatever you're willing to bring to the spot to enjoy that entire experience for yourself. I just have a collection of board games as well, so I can fuel that experience.
There you go. Well, tell us, what are some of your favorite anime?
My absolute favorite is One Piece. If you're not into it, don't get into it now. Like I said, it's been around for 20 years, so your time has come. The typical shonen are usually the number one. Those are the ones that are geared towards your teenage boys. And those are your Dragon Ball Zs, your Naruto, your one that everyone's going to talk about. But I like anime movies as well. One of my recent ones is Red Line. It takes a more JoJo's Bizarre Adventure-esque animation style and drives it more towards a driving anime of all sorts. I don't like cars, but the anime is fun.
Well, an anime is animation created in Japan or other Asian countries, correct?
By definition, it has to be produced out of Japan. They usually side hire companies out of Korea. Sometimes I've heard of French companies as well that Japan will go to, but most anime is produced from Japan, which is the sad motivation if we are an American trying to become an anime producer. Usually we have to stretch through other companies like Netflix to hire us and pull us into the industry through that sort.
Yeah, I read that there were about 430 anime production companies. And, you know, you'd think production companies, that those are jobs, but they're mostly, you say, in Japan.
Yeah, most of those production companies actually hail overseas. Most American anime conscious businesses are most retail at this point. We have a lot of conventions which really motivate the anime community. We have even Comic-Con is starting to show a heavy anime presence at this point. So,
well, and that takes me to cosplay. A lot of anime characters are recreated or acted out through cosplay. Talk about that. How do they tie in?
When you're a little kid, you always pick your favorite character, right? And you always go, I want to be that for Halloween. Now the cosplayers have taken over. They have their little subset community, which allows Halloween to be any day, any time.
Right.
So if you have a character that you want to be, and you have the time and the patience to start putting in, because I was going to say skill, but you don't need skill to be a cosplayer. You just need the time and the dedication.
Sure.
You can find a shirt that matches the color of your favorite character, put it on, and make an accent of this character. That is cosplaying. So if you encompass the idea of this character, you cosplay. And I acknowledge that. And I'm hoping to actually bring like a monthly cosplaying contest to the store as well, with monthly rewards for cosplayers, because Joplin has no support for cosplaying at all.
Really?
So I'm hoping to bring the idea of cosplayers in, because it's something I also personally do.
Well, and there are regional tournaments. There's a World Cosplay Summit. Like, it's gotten huge.
It is. It's great. It's great.
And it's so creative.
It is. And like I said, there's such a range. There's the people that look identical to the character, and usually we always idolize those people. But I never underput the people that just put on the same color shirt, maybe do a little face paint scar that the character also has as well, and they just want to kind of experience that character. I also consider that just as big as your more professional looking cosplayers.
And people spend a lot of money on that also, don't they? Costumes and such.
You can become a professional cosplayer and make money. Usually you start to produce and sell costumes as well. Usually TikTok will motivate those kind of ways forward. Or there's how to make cosplays as well. You can find those over YouTube, which that's and I don't want to say easy because it's a lot of work, way to monetize the idea of cosplaying. But when we're talking about monetizing, when it comes to monetizing characters that aren't yours, you're also dealing with the idea of copyright. So cosplayers and monetization is usually a rocky road as well. But usually if it's all in the idea of cosplay, it goes pretty well.
Well, and they have big cosplay events, Comic-Con, like you were talking about, and there are regional competitions. If you can't find one in Joplin, you can go to
bigger
Kansas City, Springfield.
Yeah, Arkansas nearby have. There are local spaces for it, but I'm trying to make it as local as your next door neighbor.
Right.
So,
and you're located in a little, well, I guess a shopping center across from the high school. Talk about how strategic that decision was to be there. I
don't want to sound as meticulous as strategic, like, oh, this was all my master plan. But in a way it was. Yeah, anime is for the teenage audience. And that's usually when anime starts to take a bigger toll on your life, if that's something you accept. I mean, my dad just now started watching anime, so I can't say just teenagers. But that's usually when you encompass it. So in the idea of what I originally said of that's what I wanted when I was growing up, I'm now giving it for the high schoolers, the next generation. They now have their next door neighbor is an anime store where they can go and experience anime in whichever way they wish to proceed it. Someplace you wish you had when you were in high school. Yep, and I will probably present an anime club which will meet once a week, which will be geared more towards the high schoolers. So they have a once-a-week experience. I mean, anyone could join probably,
Sure.
but I'm probably going to gear it more towards the high schoolers.
And anime is not just for kids.
It is.
I mean, I remember, and I was an adult, when my kids were young, we would watch Dragon Ball Z and a program called Reboot, which I couldn't even think of the name of that, but...
Reboot is it deals in digital.
Right.
Which, as we've gone on, most people... they see anime with the 2D style, your Studio Ghibli, kind of more artistic. But the digital side is taking over as well right now.
Yeah, I went back and read some of the information about Reboot, and it's like all of the names were having to do with computer names, like, Reboot, for example.
Yeah.
There was some digital guy, Digione, or I don't know. Now that I think about it, it's funny because that was when the computers were, new to the average household.
It was such a new experience. So
Right.
they were playing with the idea of it.
Right. But, what was it? Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon is huge.
Yeah.
Even adults. And wasn't there a digital format where people were chasing around?
Yeah, Pokemon Go. Yeah.
Oh, Pokemon Go. That's right.
Exactly. It's so ingrained in our culture even. I say it has to be purely Japanese, but it's part of our culture as well.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of people don't recognize Pokemon as an anime because we all think of it as a cartoon because it played on those cartoon shows. But no, it's an anime as well. Dragon Ball Z, these are all those Saturday morning cartoons that molded generations to the idea of anime. And to further use the idea of adults, there's so many different forms of anime now that there are more soap opera kind of more emotionally based. There's your more child-based, your Pokemon. Your more teenage fighters, your shonens is what they're called. And then you have your really adulty ones, but there's your whole... They encompass everything.
Right. Runs the gamut from, very generic and non-offensive to...
It's not just Dragon Ball Z anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and so what do you hope with your store to give to the next generation?
A space.
Yeah.
That's really my main focus. Like I said, I put the community in the name of the store, Joplin. So the whole idea is not to get rich or to find the way of expanding anime. Instead, it's giving Joplin a place to go and experience, and not just my kids, but their kids, and so on and so forth.
Well, and you think Joplin needed this type of store because there was not an entire space or store dedicated to just anime.
Yeah, I feel like our community has several places we can go to see anime and have that retail experience, but we don't have a place comfortable enough where we can go in and be like, hey, my favorite character is this person from this anime. And that person turns around and goes, oh, I love that anime. This is my favorite character. So now there's going to be a space where you can throw out ideas like that, and it's socially acceptable.
Right. Well, and it's human contact. For so many younger kids especially, everything's online. But this is a way for the face-to-face contact and to play those games that so many kids have done forever. Well, talk about how much, what are the ranges of expensive? Is it super cheap to collect anime? Is it super expensive, or does it run the gamut?
A veteran anime collector that deals in merchandise will tell you it is not a cheap hobby.
Right.
I'm trying to reduce that. When we're talking business, when it comes to selling in the anime industry, they tell you the standard is to triple your buying product. I stay closer to the double idea because I'm tired of walking into a store. There's my favorite character. He's a statue about this tall, and he's $85. I have statues, same quality, $30, $35. Because I want to go in and find my favorite character and be like, I can do that. Or it's only going to take me 1 to 2 paychecks instead of I'm about to have to lose gas for the month just so that I can experience this. So I'm trying to make it socially, or not socially, but affordable for everyone, because we're Joplin. We're not about to deal out these $90 for a figure.
Well, and kids have huge buying power with their parents. You know, if they want it, their parents. 'Tis the season. Yeah, especially now. And so it makes sense that, you know, if you make it affordable, they'll buy more of it. So that makes sense.
Yeah, and I had a kid come in just last night, and he got some money from his parents, and he had the ability, he had $10 and under. He was able to walk out with several items with only $10. So that was empowering for me as a business, as a community-based businessman, to see that this is what I'm working for. $10 now doesn't even get you the gas to go to the store, let alone get you something while you're there. But he was able to, and that was very promising.
Well, and opening a new business is never a guarantee. And does that scare you?
Absolutely. This store is larger than I originally wanted it to be. So now the space that I'm paying for is more than I expected it to be. So the bills that come with opening a new business, there'll always be your original heartbreak. But I've made it more of a community endeavor. I have a Facebook group with over 600 followers, and the store is not even officially open. So I'm hoping as we continue, and everyone, like the few people that have come and been able to experience a more private setting, they get to experience that spark that the store is going to be, and they help me provide towards the gears that are going to keep this store rolling. I cannot make any more promises. 6 months from now, everyone's going to tell you 6 month mark after you're open is you're going to know. So hopefully here within the next couple weeks, sooner than that hopefully, I can have a more defined idea. And I stay very vocal on my Facebook group too. Well, every time I get an update, I try to update everyone else.
And do you sell online? Talk about how that is a bigger animal than maybe...
Right now I'm but one man, and I am the sole employee to this store. And I don't want to drown myself in the idea of also supporting an online store on top of a physical one. So Anime Joplin currently doesn't have an online presence, but I'm hoping as I expand and I'm able to pull in more support, that will be the direction I'll go, because that is the way everyone, the world is moving towards that presence. So,
well, talk about your design on your sign.
I painted that actually personally, and the whole idea is to encompass the nostalgia of everything we enjoy. I brought in many characters that your Dragon Ball Z people will recognize, but then I brought in characters from more nowadays anime, so that every time you drive by, you don't have to come in. You can drive by and experience anime in a weird, nostalgic way.
Yeah, when I saw Hello Kitty, I was like, wait, is Hello Kitty? And then I remember, you see Hello Kitty is, it's huge, especially in Asian countries. Japanese culture just,
that's their Mickey Mouse.
Oh, exactly. And are any of these characters, did you have to get copyright approval for the sign, or is it just...
I actually have a small disclosure down here in the corner that I own none of them.
Well, I mean, the artwork is great, though.
I'm falling under fair use. So also by not coloring them, also falls in with the line, because I am going to have a full mural that takes up a part of the store's wall that encompass the idea of black and white painting from manga, which is the written form of anime. Anime is usually the visual television media. Manga is the written book form of that.
So, I wondered, I saw that online on one of the stories I was reading, and I didn't put two and two together.
It's a different culture, and generations are just not delved into it.
Well, and if you get interested at a young age, it seems like it kind of sticks with you.
It sticks with you. Yeah. And that defined me enough to say, let's make it a place here.
Do your kids like it?
Believe it or not, only out of my 5 children I have, only my oldest is really into it. But he's 10.
Oh,
so he's at that
right age.
teen
right
age.
Well, and when you think about the future of anime, it can only seem like it's just going to grow.
Yep. As it's no longer, the stigma of this is a kid's thing starts to fade away, and you see that there's many genres where if somebody only likes shows like The Walking Dead, the live action zombie, there's anime that encompass the same idea of that Attack on Titan, which I consider the Walking Dead of anime. They had the same kind of audience that they pull in.
Okay.
So as that stigma starts to fade away, it's going to become more of a every household has a favorite anime at this point.
Well, I have a granddaughter, and there's a picture of her when she was little, and her hair was sticking straight up, and it's solid black. And I put it side by side with on Facebook. Is who wore it best, her or Goku? Which is that guy.
That is him.
And I recognized him, and it was just funny. Yeah. So things that I remember about that type of anime have stuck with me.
And there's anime that are slice of life, which is what they've named anime that deals with like real life things. Oh. So now there's anime that have protagonists that look just like your normal run-of-the-mill person. And they don't have to be as eccentric as some of the people on this board now.
So, a made-up character.
Yeah, exactly.
Real life.
It doesn't have to be as extravagant.
Sure. Well, and speaking of extravagant, a lot of cosplay is pretty extravagant.
It is.
And I saw, there was something on the Comic-Con, the most recent one, I think. I mean, they've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on costumes.
Yeah.
Do you anticipate having anything like costumes?
I want to add a support system to the local cosplayers. Not just a place to go and cosplay, but also give them somebody with the right ties into, say they wanted to make a sword for their character. Oh. I hope to give them the connections into getting the kind of sword and materials they need to make for their character. And if anything, as I want to give them a place that they could come and make it if they needed to. I'll open up a space for them where they can sit and provide that. Also, now that I think about it, this is a tad bit of a off subject, but I also am allowing co-signing. So local artists that deal in anime have a place to now sell their items as well.
I gotcha. Okay.
Which I've had several artists at this point come and sell prints. I have somebody that sells custom shirts with anime things, cups, all that stuff, and they are local artists that you can't do that at any place around here and find that audience. But now that audience is here.
I mean, it seems like the possibilities are endless.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we wish you the best of luck, Jeremiah, with this endeavor, and keep us posted on the opening.
Absolutely. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome. I want to thank Jeremiah Johnson with Anime Joplin for joining us today. This is Newsmakers on KGCS TV from the Ruth Colpin Studios here at Missouri Southern State University, and I'm Bobby Potroff. We'll see you again soon.
Where will you be in 4 years? At Missouri Southern State University, we're here to help you achieve your life goals. Small class sizes allow you to develop a more personal relationship with your instructors and practice your skills in immersive environments. From a healthcare simulation center to crime scene investigation, state-of-the-art science labs, a mock courtroom, and much more. Study abroad opportunities can help you develop a global mindset. Learn more about our high-quality educational opportunities at mssu.edu.
Missouri Southern State University Department of Communication, where information and experience opens doors you can never imagine. The mission of the department is to investigate, create, and spread information to a global public using a wide variety of communication and media channels. We prepare you for your future with hands-on opportunities using high-quality equipment and a fun learning environment. Allow us to be a part of your journey here at Missouri Southern State University, where connections will last you a lifetime.